The 5 myths of ED. There are 5 major myths regarding erectile dysfunction which are promulgated by Western mainstream medicine and the pharmaceutical industry. These myths, once held up to the light of scientific study, suppress and mislead us from the actual sources of erectile dysfunction as well as diseases and cancers. These myths serve to perpetuate erectile dysfunction to the benefit of Western mainstream medicine and the pharmaceutical industry. How can Western mainstream medicine and the pharmaceutical industry promote concepts and behaviors which actually cause erectile dysfunction while pretending that they have nothing at all to do with erectile dysfunction? The reason is that erectile dysfunction, diseases, and imbalances are the fuel for this corporate capitalistic money-making machine. The overarching theme of these 5 major myths is that once we experience imbalance, dysfunction, and disease, there is nothing we can do to heal it. This is the greatest myth of all, which disempowers, severs, and isolates us from the innate intelligence that resides within every cell of our body. Once we step out of the way by stopping the negative habits and behaviors which are actually creating the disease and dysfunction within our body, as well as provide holistic, synergistic support through natural healing modalities, our body knows exactly what to do to restore perfect balance and health innately from within. This is our birthright and the will of God. God is the master of holistic and synergistic health, the greatest healer there ever was and ever will be, and incomparably more powerful and knowledgeable in healing than any doctor on earth. The Western mainstream healthcare system is not actually run by doctors. It is run by massive corporate insurance companies whose sole goal is to maximize revenue through the sale of pharmaceutical drugs and surgeries. Actually healing our dysfunctions, diseases, and imbalances, which is supposed to be their primary goal, represents a catastrophic loss of billions of dollars annualized. Western mainstream medicine and the pharmaceutical industry, the FDA, and the insurance industry are structurally framed so that true healing is fundamentally in opposition to their financial interests. This is a contradiction and conflict of interest which is cruel and intolerable. We must rise up and reject it through our own empowerment. The meat myth, which includes all animal-based food, is the first major myth and a major source of organic ED. For decades, we have been brainwashed by the savvy marketing of the animal farming industry and their powerful lobbyists, influencing the USDA and FDA to believe that meat and animal-based food is the correct, necessary, and healthiest choice of food. This myth has penetrated so deeply into our culture that men have been misled to believe that they can only be strong if they eat meat and animal-based foods. Real men eat meat. Milk makes strong bones. These are some of the marketing mantras that we have been raised to parrot, even compelling us to exert peer pressure on those who do not comply with these myths. But when you hold these myths up to the penetrating light of science, we see the exact opposite. Rather than the myth we have been taught, that animal-based foods make men strong, the science shows that men become soft and less masculine. Meat makes a man's lingam soft, and milk makes a man grow breasts. Within hours of eating an animal-based meal, erectile performance is negatively impacted due to impaired endothelial function. In the long term, regularly eating an animal-based diet leads to blood flow restrictive ED and arteriosclerosis. Animal-based foods contain saturated fats, carcinogens, and free radicals, which lead to cardiovascular, neurodegenerative, and autoimmune diseases as well as cancers. The meat myth may be one of the greatest myths in modern day history. A plant-based diet has all the same protein levels and amino acid building blocks as an animal-based diet, contrary to the false information circulating. The difference is that animal-based proteins are inflammatory and poisonous to our system, whereas plant-based protein is assimilated incredibly well into our body. Plants are symbiotic with our body, containing natural antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, and antiviral properties. Just say no to recreational eating. Stuffing ourselves with 3 meals per day of fatty-rich foods grinds our digestion to a halt. Animal-based food lacks any fiber needed to move food quickly and efficiently through our digestive system. The saturated fats, carcinogens, and free radicals become poisons stuck within our digestive system, creating inflammation. This Western standard diet practice has led to disease, comorbidities, and death at appalling rates. Plant-based foods do contain a balance of fiber perfectly made to regulate flow and movement. Quinoa, for example, contains 8 grams of complete protein and 5 grams of fiber in just 1 cup. Vegetables and fruits contain protein. Hyper-focusing on protein is yet another wrinkle to the meat myth. We have been raised to fear that somehow we will become weak, diseased, and dead from lack of sufficient protein on a plant-based diet. But the truth is that all the disease we see today are from consumption of too much protein. Essentially, the science shows us that we are presented with a stark choice. Animal-based foods lead us directly down the undeniable path towards disease and dysfunction, while plant-based foods protect us from the 15 leading causes of death in the world, as well as increases our lifespan by 10 years. Within hours of eating a plant-based meal, erectile function is preserved and enhanced, rather than impaired. In the long term, a plant-based diet protects us from blood flow restrictive ED and arteriosclerosis, preserving healthy blood flow. I recommend what I call an intelligent plant-based diet and a light force diet. There is a wide range of plant-based diets, but what I recommend is simple to understand, the way God intends for our diet to be. I recommend organic fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. The healthiest food is the way God created it, with the natural packaging of its seed capsule, complete and wholesome. I do not recommend refined flours nor processed and fried foods. You can bake food with olive oil. Fried seed oils are a major source of free radicals, which cause arteriosclerosis. Our goal is to feed our body with what it's truly craving in nutrients and building blocks, while maintaining regular digestive movement. An intelligent plant-based diet, when combined with intermittent fasting, provides us with the optimal nutrients and flow our body needs. Intermittent fasting, or IF, allows our body to fully eliminate what we have eaten, rather than piling meal upon meal without rest. Intermittent fasting burns fat through ketosis at 12 hours and creates cellular regeneration through autophagy at 18 hours, cleansing misshapen cellular components linked with cardiovascular, neurodegenerative, autoimmune diseases, and cancers. Our heart, blood flow, and endothelial layer function perfectly on a plant-based diet, which is critical for potent sexual health and performance. Think flow and movement when it comes to diet and exercise choices, behaviors, and lifestyles. Flow, movement, and lightness of body is the key to optimal sexual and physical health, along with refraining from semen release to pornography. Think of your body as your car and food as the fuel source for your car. If you put the incorrect fuel into your car, the engine will not perform well, require expensive maintenance, and ultimately fail. This is exactly the same situation we see today on a massive scale with our choice of fuel, negatively impacting our bodily functions. Decades of purposely misleading information has been spoon-fed to us by animal farming corporations in conjunction with the USDA and FDA. We have been pouring the incorrect fuel into our car for decades, resulting in the healthcare epidemic we see today, which enriches the healthcare system at the expense of our own priceless health and lives. The science is crystal clear that an intelligent plant-based diet is the healthiest and highest form of fuel to place into our car, resulting in a healthier and longer-lasting lifespan of 10 years. The strongest, fastest, and fittest athletes in every sport are now following the science behind the superior results found in a plant-based diet, resulting in championships, world records, and gold medals. The choice is yours. You can choose to follow the marketing myth or the actual science. One diet will lead you down a road to dysfunction, disease, and early death. The other will hand you back your power, vitality, vibrancy, and youthful vigor. I made my choice, and you can clearly see the results. Now it is time to make your choice. Choose your power and choose your health every moment. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to catch the next video.